My area of interest is in bird migration, and in particular we've been studying bar-headed geese, a rather unique bird that lives in Central Asia and migrates twice a year through the Tibetan Plateau, across the Tibetan Plateau, and has to negotiate over the top of the Himalayas to overwinter between India and then migrate back to Mongolia, where it spends the summer and breeds. So we've been able to track these birds using GPS technology, and we've also been able to measure their heart rate and their body motions using devices that measure accelerometry. What we've discovered about these remarkable birds is that rather than just taking off, climbing for a few hours and then going along at a steady altitude and then till they're ready to land, they do a very complicated flight path where they're constantly going up and down, going up through the valleys, over ridges and then back down again. So they keep losing height and then climbing back up again and regaining height. And this is unusual, and we've called this the roller coaster strategy because they're constantly gaining height and then swooping down and losing height again and then having to regain it again. It's challenging because the air is very thin and very low density at these altitudes. This makes it difficult for them to generate the forces from the wing to lift, to provide lift and thrust to fly in this air. Secondly, it's very challenging because the oxygen is very thin in the atmosphere and less accessible to the animal. So the higher they go, the harder it is to actually generate the energy to fly and capture the oxygen that they need to survive. So we actually think that they're doing this partly because it's actually more economical. They're taking less energy by constantly going back down and seeking air that's of a higher density. This makes it easier for them to fly through the air, but also makes it easier to obtain oxygen to fuel those flights. One thing we've discovered is a very good link between heart rate and wing beat frequency, which gives us high confidence that we are able to measure what it means for them, how hard they perceive the flights, how difficult it is for them. And we can get some idea of what their maximal flight capabilities are and how high they might be able to fly if they were really going at 100%. And this is one of the reasons why, of course, it's a very interesting migration that can teach us a great deal about bird flight mechanics and bird flight physiology at high altitude in low atmospheric oxygen.